Look, you may be dreading President Trump's State of the Union address, and there's a lot to be discouraged about. So, we at Sojourners are here to remind you of some of the most powerful moments from this past year. These are things that give us hope about the state of our union. Number 1, women broke the silence around sexual assault this year. Sexual violence and harassment in the workplace became a national conversation. Powerful, abusive men were fired or censured thanks to the brave women who spoke up and the journalists who told their stories. And the Me Too and Time's Up movements have continued in 2018, sparking conversation, debate, and policy change in Hollywood, the media, Capitol Hill, and beyond.
For too long, women have not been heard or believed if they dared to speak their truth to the power of those men. But their time is up.
Number 2, love showed up against hate. When white supremacists showed up in Charlottesville in August, hundreds of clergy showed up too, praying and marching against them to show how people of faith respond to hate. In Boston, tens of thousands of protesters stood up for love and dignity against the far-right rally for free speech. And through the fall, cities across the country decided to remove their Confederate statues, recognizing that while reflecting on hatred has a place, glorifying it does not. Number 3, taking a knee for justice. Colin Kaepernick's protest against police brutality began in 2016, but in 2017, hundreds of other professional athletes from the NFL took a knee with him. The protest led to a nationwide discussion on how to protest social injustice and convinced the NFL to formally support a criminal justice reform bill in Congress. And Kaepernick was also named GQ's Citizen of the Year. Number 4, women and people of color broke box office records. The top 3 movies of 2017 featured female leads for the first time in decades. First-time director Jordan Peele scored the highest-grossing original debut ever. An upcoming Marvel movie, Black Panther, has already broken pre-sale records. On and off screen, Hollywood was defined by its women and people of color, and 2017 was only the beginning. Number 5, tragedy came, but we came together stronger. When natural disasters rocked the United States, individual people stood up to support one another. Whether it was compassion and fierce leadership from San Juan's mayor, Carmen Yulín Cruz, after Hurricane Irma, or the thousands of volunteers who assisted and saved lives after Hurricane Harvey. These acts of heroism reminded us that we're better when we all come together. Number 6, Alabama rejected Roy Moore. African-American voters almost unanimously voted for Doug Jones.
You know, I keep hearing about the different communities in this state. The African-American community, thank you!
Not only that, voters made history around the country, electing women, people of color, trans people, and religious minorities into high office for the first time. Number 7, churches are opening their sanctuaries to undocumented immigrants. Under the Trump administration, anti-immigrant rhetoric is on the rise, and ICE is breaking up families nearly every week. In response, churches around the country have opened their doors. At least 800 churches have now declared themselves sanctuaries to protect immigrants at risk of deportation. In a time of fear and many people losing sight of what Christianity is about, these brave churches are putting their buildings and their love on the line. Number 8, you and the power of the people.
You have the power.
This year, you protested, called your congressmen and women, sent letters, and stood up to say this country does not revolve around a single person or an ideology of exclusion and hate. You stopped the GOP from taking away health care, you helped create the largest protest march in U.S. history, and you voted in new representation to the table. That's our state of hope in the Union. What's yours?